They hide your work. That building, that stone across the street. That's why we got this hill. That's why we got a hill. I'm on top. So you see, the top is theirs. The bottom is ours. It goes down. Look at the windows. That's how you bury somebody's history. We're on top of the hill, right? The red is them and the brown is us. See, missing window. You see the stonework. The stonework. You see the white? They separated themselves. They let you know where it's at. This is where it starts. That's ours. That building start on the white part. It's a little higher than this one. You see? I'm on top of the hill. This is the roof of our building. See? That's the roof. This is the roof. See? Stonework. See? We're making the sidewalk. We're making the sidewalk. Yes, we're making the sidewalk. We're on the hill.
Like Kim Burrell said that Jay-Z called her and asked her to come and minister to his wife, who was locked in a room for 12 hours, listening to Kim Burrell records, rocking back and forth and shit. I guess she was trying to break the spell. I don't know.
When he put out 444, at the time, I didn't know that was going to be the name of the record, but he called me in and he said, hey, when my wife is going through it, I always know because I hear you playing in the background. He says, my wife locked up one day for 11 hours and I heard nothing but Kim Burrell for 11 hours. He said, but here's why I'm calling you. When she came out, she was better. He said she was so much better. He says, and I'm calling you because I need to have a meeting with the person that made my wife better. And so I flew to him and he was in the studio at the time making 444. And he hadn't, at least I didn't know he had named it.
Were you in the gifted and talented program as a child? Some people called it GATE, some people called it GT. There's actually a lot of different names depending on where you live in America. But do you remember being selected in elementary or middle school for some sort of accelerated learning program and being taken out of class and brought into other rooms with a smaller group of children? And do you have an extremely hard time remembering that? And if that's the case, please listen to what I have to say, because I had a flood of memories come back to me after overhearing another person talk about this colored string test where we had to undo this tangled up, colorful string. And through that and talking about it last night in another video, I have been flooded with comments and people reaching out to me, telling me their stories and sharing other things that have unlocked even more memories for me. So we're going to go down the list of things that I wrote down and see if this unlocks any more memories for you. Obviously, the first one is the tangled up, colorful string where we had to undo it. Some people said it was on like a board. Other people had to do it mentally. And some people were just given this wad of colorful kind of yarn stuff and had to untangle it to the best of their ability. A lot of people remembered flashcards or memory games or speed reading. Actually, a big one for me was these tangrams, these weird little colorful shape block things. As soon as I saw a photo of that, because I saw a lot of people in the comments referencing it, I didn't know what it was. And I Googled a photo of it, and dear God, did I have a flashback of just countless hours of having to do tests and games with these tangram things. Another super popular one is the auditory testing with these weird retro headphones, these like big gray greenish headphones. Some people reported them being connected to this like weird briefcase thing. And I specifically remember having to listen to these weird frequencies, these weird tones, and being tested on what I heard in the tones. And then another person mentioned having to listen to this story being played to them through these headphones. And there was this little clicker device, and you'd have to click a button every time you heard certain words or certain elements of a story. Very vivid memories from that. Continuing with our retro technology theme, do you remember having to use super old computers and having to play weird games and do weird tests? And I feel like even one of them was Oregon Trail. I remember something along those lines. That was a huge part of this GATE program curriculum. Another very common one for people was having to build things out of random objects like toothpicks, popsicle sticks. For me, I specifically remember having to make things out of construction paper. One that I saw a couple of people mention, but really struck home with me in a deep level that makes me feel uncomfortable. Do you remember having to wear weirdly colored or tinted glasses of some sort. Like, I'm talking about like the old 3D movie glasses. That, I don't know why, feels so familiar to me. Now we're going to start getting even weirder. Do you guys remember having to go to very small, weird rooms where the windows were completely covered up, or there were no windows at all, or being completely removed from school, taken off campus? I distinctly remember doing a lot of this program in a trailer with the windows covered up, which, as you can imagine, is not exactly very comforting. And speaking of being taken off campus, off school grounds, do you remember weird field trips, having to go very, very long distances, being taken to weird things? People reported being taken to local businesses and talking with some of the heads of companies. Some people report going to military bases, or very oddly specific aquariums and planetariums. Now, for me, planetariums definitely struck a chord. And last but not least, do you remember having to drink some sort of weird liquid out of a little Dixie cup? I'm talking about reddish, pinkish, purplish. People describe it as different colors, but I distinctly remember having the experience of having to drink this weird liquid out of a cup. Some people reported having to take these tabs, and a lot of people report thinking that it was some sort of dental test or some sort of fluoride test. That might be the case. I don't know. I am just trying to explore all of these different experiences because of the fact that we have no memories. We have no distinct chronological idea of what actually happened to us in these accelerated gifted classes. If you remember any of this, or this jogged a memory in some way, please comment down below. If you can list more things that I haven't shared, that would be fantastic, because I feel like the more that we get this stuff out in the open and list these experiences and share it with each other, the more that we will unlock.
You promise we'll never come back? I promise.
I believe that Whitney Houston figured out they were trying to kill her. She gave that note to Brandy. Brandy read the note, got scared, and went back and told her brother Ray J what Whitney told her, because her brother was dating Whitney at the time. I believe Ray J went back and told Diddy what was in that note, and I believe Diddy went and told Clive Davis. I believe Diddy told Ray J to go in that room and get her nice and comfortable, and when she's relaxed, give me a call. I believe it was Diddy that came to that room and did the job himself. Wow. Which is why Ray J left and was held in the hotel for hours.
This is all new for me. I'm really emotional right now. I really don't know really what to say. But what I will say is that I love and I'm hurt.
Then tried to come back in to pretend like he was comforting Bobby Christina, and then he was pushed out of the hotel and escorted out with another bad actor who was involved in the unalivement of Michael Jackson, escorted him out to the car. And not a good car, or a black car, or a limo car. Like a Toyota or a Subaru or something. Get out of here, get out of here! And they put him into the car, you can hear it.
I'll address the issue. I really miss my friend. I always look at my phone because I got a picture of somebody that I really love.
Why did Beyonce wear the same dress repeatedly while pregnant with Blue Ivy? The story behind it is shocking. An early video showed Beyonce's baby bump folding as she bent down to sit, and at that moment, her belly seemed to deflate like a balloon losing air. Furthermore, during Blue Ivy's first performance as Beyonce's backup dancer, it was noticed that she didn't inherit her mom's extraordinary dancing talent. Even more intriguingly, Blue Ivy now bears a growing resemblance to the late Casey White, who reportedly had a relationship with Jay-Z. However, Casey White mysteriously passed away the same year Beyonce became pregnant with Blue Ivy. Based on this, some speculate that Casey White may have been pregnant with Jay-Z's child and secretly gave birth before her death. Afterward, the child's age was allegedly altered and handed over to Beyonce to raise, with Beyonce using a fake baby bump to cover up the story. However, Beyonce herself clarified, it was a piece of folding fabric. Can't fabric fold? In reality, Beyonce was only 5 months pregnant when recording that show. and her bump wasn't large enough to fully support the fabric. As she sat down, the unfilled fabric momentarily collapsed. Beyoncé commented on this. "It's not hurtful, but these ideas are just too crazy." Notably, Blue Ivy recently played Glinda in the musical film Wicked. She attended the Los Angeles premiere with her grandmother Tina, and it's clear her future is shining brightly.
You was getting chased to your building. Call it up, I ain't even giving my numbers.
Close attention to the ones that surround you that's strange. Because in actuality, what you're going to find out is if you are normal in a world like this, the one is crazy. See what I'm saying? The ones that you calling crazy, strange and crazy, they have tapped into levels of spirituality that you don't understand. You saying that nigga crazy. You see what I'm saying? But in actuality, if you are a pillar of this society, you got to be out of your damn mind. Check. Always go across the green. You got a brother right back here as a living example of going across the green. You know that old deal that went down in 88? You know what I'm saying? 87. That's talking about going across the green. We talking about we don't want to be palatable to the market system and to the whole system. We want to go across the green. If you going with the green, you totally dead. Check? All right.
D4K.co.
Die for knowledge.
Night. I had the dates wrong all this time. Did he come on out?
In the deposition he gave in a civil case brought against him by the family of the young man
who had murdered the Texas state trooper, Tupac described his new wife. She's 22. She's a Scorpio. She just graduated from John Jay College with a degree in criminal science, and she's taking a year off. She's going to go to law school. She's nice. She's quiet. She's a square. She's a good girl. She's my first and only girlfriend I ever had in my entire life, and now she's my wife. Tupac and Morris talked about moving to Arizona and what they would name their kids. He started to organize his finances and attempted to settle the numerous lawsuits pending against him across the country. But in the forbidding, almost feudal background of the Clinton Correctional Facility, his efforts seem increasingly irrelevant.
Sure, everyone's heard about the drones flying over New Jersey and New York, but did you hear the details about it? One, these things are the size of cars or small SUVs. Two, as they fly over the top of houses and other cars, the clocks change time. I have a couple of friends in New Jersey, as these things flew over their house, their microwaves, their stoves, they all changed time. And the cars, as they drive over the top of the cars, they're changing time. Now here's the other crazy part. I saw another video where this person attempted to fly a drone of their own up towards these drones to get a better look at it. But as soon as they tried to take the drone and launch it, the batteries went from 100% charged to 100% dead. Like that. Somebody actually managed to get a drone up in the air, and as it got close, the battery just died and fell out of the sky. I've also seen a F-150, a video of an F-150 jet chasing one of these things, and this thing took off on that jet and disappeared at speeds that made it look like the jet was sitting still.
Wait. African Americans were called East Indians in the early 1900s? So what really is an African American? Let's really think about that.
What people don't know is that Hudson County, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, is the #1 place in the country where they have the most UFO sightings.
Really? Northern New Jersey?
Look it up, Jamie, if you get a minute, please, not to be rude.
But isn't that like near a couple airports?
No, it's closer to, like, you know, like when you live in New York City and you look at the Hudson River, they say that people go on their balcony, they're drinking coffee, they're talking on the phone, and they'll see a little flying saucer go by.
Really?
And I know for a fact that in 1976...
A little one?
Whatever the fuck they are. I know for a fact that in 1975 and 1976, you could check me out on this, a UFO landed in Hudson County Park. I was a kid, and the next day the feds locked off the park. They had yellow tape, they had samples. Go look it up, dog. There's a UFO. You see that's called, North Bergen is where I'm from. That's called, I forget what it's called, but it's a circular building. So they did so much coke in there in the 80s, they called it the grinder. That's what they called it, because it was shaped like the Stonehenge. The Stonehenge. I have a couple friends that lived there. People that lived in that building have seen UFOs for fucking years. And if you go to YouTube, there's an actual North Hudson Park UFO. Wow. They dug up, they came out, there's a liquor store. And the liquor store guy says he's seen the lights. You heard like the organ music that they play. They landed. A couple Martians got out and took samples and got back in the thing and took off. There's a YouTube thing. There's a History Channel special about it. And I still remember being a young kid.
Did you find anything, Jamie?
That was what's popping up, all that stuff about that building. And
no.
Is there anything that says a UFO landed?
That's the story I'm reading right now is what he's saying, yeah.
And witnesses. You know, it's not just one guy that says, I know UFO. It's people who got knocked on the door and said, did you see anything at 11, 10 at night? And they said, you know what? There were lights flashing outside. They contacted police departments to see if there was any. They went full. Then the FBI came in, circled the park. It was by the Little League field in Hudson County. But it is, like you'd think it was Area 51. You'd think it was close to northern Las Vegas. The #1 place to see UFOs is northern New Jersey. They even made a reference to it in The Sopranos. When he said something, he goes, what are you talking about? Last week you said you seen a UFO in Hackensack. Because that's where they're at. Hackensack, Moonachie. Right. All those. You go to Moonachie, New Jersey. A lot of ugly people. A lot of people with big heads. The only good thing in Moonachie, New Jersey is fucking Segovia, Spanish restaurant. It's been there since 19 fucking Schlemensky. I don't know.
Adjusted contrast by 60% to see the hexagrams.
So let me get this straight. Everybody thinks it's a coincidence that the UHC person of interest left a bag of Monopoly money in Central Park and then got caught in McDonald's? Monopoly McDonald's? And the worker that supposedly called him in just coincidentally just so happened to recognize him at McDonald's? Monopoly McDonald's? You know Monopoly McDonald's where you get the pieces, you put the pieces together and stuff and then you win? That McDonald's? After he left the bag, like I said, of Monopoly money in the park, Central Park. Okay. I just want people to understand sometimes some people not only playing chess, not checkers, they playing poker. And sometimes when you think they showing their hand, you should actually be looking at their feet. Their feet. It's me, Luigi.
Y'all see why they go to war with the sun every single day? Because the sun is literally out there showing you the magic. Here's the other sun right there, right? That's reflecting off of the clouds right over here. You can see like the light just piercing through the clouds. But again, the clouds are literally obfuscating what you're trying to see. But just, man, look at these clouds, bro. Look at these clouds. Again, when the birds are flying, I tell y'all, man, the birds are messengers just letting us know what's going on. Look at this dude just... Look at this. Oh, there's more of them. I told y'all, man, it's up. See, when the birds are flying, they're telling you guys something is here. Look at this. They are literally flying next to that other sun. Oh, snap. See, there's more of them. Here goes another one. See, I be telling y'all, watch the birds. The birds are the messengers of the realm. They let you know when something is going on. Just like police officers, they know when the sirens go off, they say something here, something is happening. It's the birds. Look at these clouds, boy. These things look ominous. And I hear rumbling in the back. Gone. You see that? Gone.
First thing that Bobby Seale said was, in order to be a member of the Black Panther Party, you had to have 2 weapons and 2,000 rounds of ammunition. So that was pretty heavy. But then George Murray tells us, the Minister of Education, he gives us a book list of 25 books that we have to read, and that we have to read 2 hours a day, and we have to have political education class twice a week. And we were given a list of rules for members of the Black Panther Party. And then that was the beginning of the Seattle chapter, the first chapter outside of the state of California.
Never stuck my cock in the box, but damn if I ain't open Pandora's box.
Was I shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby? Yes, because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music, and we know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that. I think he began to feel the pressure because people were saying my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14. She was 15, 14. And after a while, that gets to a person. The Jay I know, the Sean I know, never comes out of character. So.
You said back in the day, they always said it was two free people, the white man and the black woman.
That's right.
What that mean?
If he decided to go somewhere and take his black woman with him, wasn't nothing nobody could say. He going out of town, he take the help with him. He wasn't just taking her with him. But you don't see him getting on TV, going back 30 years, and getting the white man for raping the black woman, but you hear him going back 30 years and getting Bill Cosby because the white woman said he raped her, and she went to his apartment, and she took the pill he handed her. He didn't make her take it. But we didn't have no choice.
Oh my goodness. That's what that means. Thank you.
You was a help. You was on the only help. And the white woman last time knew what he was doing, but she didn't care. Or she probably didn't want him no way. And she didn't care long as she sat up and they didn't have to turn her hand.
Right, because sometimes back in them days, white women just, the marriages was arranged and they just got somebody to, you know, to help with their bills or create a life for them. That was it.
And he go out there and mess with black woman. The man said somebody put a bullet in his brain.
So it was a lot of white women traumatized too.
Yeah.
White women
They couldn't say nothing.
They was getting beat up and stuff too behind closed doors.
But they was getting killed too, but wasn't ever nothing done about it. I asked a white friend of mine one time, a young white friend, I said, why is it on TV is so many white men killing their wives? He said, Vera, he said, they did that, always have did it. They just now decided to start getting them. So they've always did it. They did do something they didn't like. You see a grave, who was that grave out there? Why, how she died? Died in childbirth.
Oh, man.
Anything, yeah. Baby come black, you buried out there too.
Oh, man.
So, according to NASA, this underwater volcano named Sharkano has erupted, and somehow there's been sharks that were surviving in it, and they were released. Sharks surviving in a volcano. It's like my brain could only think of, yep, shark went long. I don't know why. But for some reason, I feel like locals are still going to swim in that ocean that they're in. Instead of shark bites, you're worried about burns. What? Other sharks scared of it? Like, do they burn? Like, you've been chilling in a volcano for like, what? Let's go swimming and see the volcano sharks.
Last week, the internet was introduced to the term Sharkano as NASA announced that the underwater volcano Kavachi erupted in the Pacific Islands, exposing 2 species of sharks that were living inside the volcanic crater. It was the silky shark and the hammerhead shark. Apparently, they can live in highly acidic water at superheated temperatures. These are basically radioactive sharks. Wow, what a wonder. Nature's so incredible, right? Wrong! You're gonna tell me that just 1 month after I learned about militarized dolphins in the Russian-Ukrainian war trying to protect a naval base off the coast of Crimea, all of a sudden we got nuclear sharks floating around the planet? For sure not. This is 100% an experiment from the U.S. Army to combat against the Russian experiments with dolphins. We one-up them with sharks. I'm all about it. I think we should have nuclear sharks patrolling the planet, but don't fucking lie to me and tell me they lived inside of a volcano and erupted. You gotta get up pretty early to get one past me, pal.
In 1994, our daughter came out of her bedroom one morning and came over to my wife and said, last night I was flying. She says, so you were flying? And she said, yeah, the sky people took me. And my wife was a little confused. She was like, so like you had a dream? And she says, no, I was flying. I was in the air. And I was upset because I didn't have my blankie. She took her blankie everywhere with her. And my wife said, so like, what do you mean? She goes, the sky people took me. I was in the sky flying. I was waving at you guys. I could see the house. And this kind of freaked my wife out. So she questioned her a little bit more. And she totally believed her. And I think I had gone to work that morning. When I came home, she told me about it. And we were both a little freaked out about it. And we talked about it. And it's always just been a thing we've kind of joked about, my daughter talking about the sky people.
The kid needs to be put under the jail. He doesn't need to see the light of day. There's no space or time for a person to be allowed to be on the streets that thinks it's okay because of whatever your situation is. I'm out here taking lives and jeopardizing anything. That was me lying to you. The truth is, free my nigga, man. He just out here doing the Lord's work. He's out here showing these companies and corporations that we, the people, need to be heard. And until we fix this healthcare problem, until there's a genuine solution to where people are not losing their lives over this petty bullshit healthcare shit, and they're lacing their pockets as them fat cats at the top of them buildings, we, the people, will always be at the lobby doors with our Watchdog 2 pistols ready to stand up for what we believe in. Viva Revolution! It started with Drake and it continues with Luigi.
Yo, he is just a farmer. I'm not gonna lie, he's just a fucking content farmer. Yeah, get your black ass off camera.
Some people are Captain America, other people are the Punisher.